MightyKeef.
Mark Cerny. I'm excited to be here to talk about the newest addition to our console lineup, PlayStation 5 Pro.
Oh, there it is.
Advances gaming technology.
There it is.
But first, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5 and how it delivers an exceptional gaming experience.
It's only 9 minutes long, though.
When PS5 debuted in 2020,
games.
it brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed, complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds.
Wait a minute. That game's not out yet.
And frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames a second.
Wasn't that Dynasty Warriors?
PS5 has a powerful RDNA 2 GPU, which can render anything from intricate details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramic.
Ghost of Tsushima! Give me a second one, please!
Ray tracing allows for dramatic visual improvements, including reflections off of water or glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination.
The PS5 could do this, but you had to run everything in 30 FPS.
Data at breathtaking speed, resulting in ultra-fast transitions between
My
game
PC
worlds.
can do this.
And data streaming rates so high that traversal speeds are essentially unlimited.
Now this was crazy. Their SSD stuff is crazy. That's like a huge flex.
Tempest's 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games.
I remember this boss.
With audio
Demon's
so
Souls is still
real,
one of the
you
best
may not
looking
even need
console
to see
games
the
out
enemies
there.
to know exactly where they are. Finally, the DualSense controller has haptics that let you feel through your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game. It's wonderful to see such variety and richness of game experiences. Creators have made amazing use of the hardware capabilities, but when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance. The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with, graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players.
Facts.
Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have enhanced detail or use more ray tracing.
Yeah.
But the games only run at 30 frames per second.
Yeah,
the visuals can be choppier, and the controls less responsive. Performance modes emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second.
Just the best way to play, honestly, in my opinion.
Mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved. When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time.
Of course.
Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5 Pro. We want to give players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer. To do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways.
It needs to be
Here's what we call
$1,000.
the big 3.
Larger GPU.
First, we made the GPU much larger and increased the speed of the memory it uses. The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster. Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5.
Okay.
And finally, we added custom hardware for machine learning and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail.
Is this like that
which boosts the
FSSR
effective
on
resolution of the
No,
games.
something different.
Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles. And with the big 3 involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro.
Oh.
It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second.
It's our first thing over the PS5 Pro.
Let's compare this to the fidelity mode on PS5, which is only running at 30 frames per second and is therefore much choppier. This goal of delivering almost fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet & Clank.
Spider-Man was one of those games where it's
we
like...
can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5.
Okay.
Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per second. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5. For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet and Clank. Distant details are much clearer. And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars. So overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This is the big three showing their value. As you've been seeing, machine learning via the PSSR library is being used quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost
pretty much what we thought. Just an upgraded version of the PS5,
as there are
which is good. But
the increase in raw GPU power is being especially effective for Horizon Forbidden West. Apart from the detail boost, that extra graphics power is allowing for improvements to lighting and visual effects, as well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Jorv's orders.
Good enough for me.
We're gonna do a comparison point?
Ray tracing is finding broad usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference.
My thing is, I want old
Allowing
games to be
Gran
at 60.
Turismo 7 to add ray
You know what I mean? Like unlock the
reflections between
old
the cars
PS4
and
games,
gameplay,
like
while
Battle
continuing
of
to support their
Shadow of
targeted
Mordor and
60
stuff like
frames
that.
per
Like
second.
that shit should run at like
That
1440p,
boost in
60
ray tracing
FPS
is
on
also delivering
PS5.
big wins for Hogwarts Legacy, allowing not only for better reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism in the casting of shadows. I hope you've enjoyed this run-through of the technology behind PlayStation 5 Pro. Simply put, it's the most powerful console we've ever built, and a worthy addition to the PS5 family. Let me wrap this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
Okay. Oh, is this it? Is this the reveal? What am I looking at? Oh, it's got a little seatbelt on it. It looks the same. Girl, looks the same. It's got a little seatbelt on it now. I'm not gonna lie, Spider-Man was one of the games that always looked good to me, like, regardless if it was fidelity or performance.
You're right. It'll be worth it.
Okay.
Oh yes, sir. Demon Souls, baby.
Did I do it? Oh, what is this? What's with all the neon?
My boy Alan Wake. Assassin's Creed. When is this coming out? Do we have a release date? Damn. I mean, it looks good. It's exactly what I figured it was going to be. It wasn't going to be anything like crazy, but it was like an upgraded PS5. $6.99. Okay. November 7th? Oh shit, it's coming out this year? I didn't know that. Oh shit. Ah. Well, what do you guys think about it? I mean, yeah, all right. I didn't know it was coming out this year, I'm gonna be honest with you. It looks like just an upgraded PS5, you know, nothing too crazy, but, you know, I don't know if it's enough for, I mean, I'm gonna probably get it because this is my job, right? It's YouTube is my job, and getting this and having the best, I guess, technology to play the games to show y'all is like my job. But I don't know if this is enough to sell someone who already has a PS5. You know what I mean? Like, I was hoping there would be something where it's like, oh, by the way, you can play all the previous PlayStation games now at like max resolution or something, or like, I don't know. I don't even know if that's possible. I'm not a super nerd about like hardware or how that stuff works. I know a little bit of something, but I don't know everything. Like I know that some games are like locked or capped at 30 FPS, and I don't know if different hardware unlocks that, or if like the game company has to like send in a patch. For example, like I said, Shadow of Mordor, like that's 1080p, 30 FPS on PS5. It's like, why? Right? Is that PS5 can clearly do better than that. So is that the fault of the Warner Bros? Do they need to send a patch to like upgrade it to 60 and 1440, or maybe that's it? And maybe what I'm wanting is not even possible, right? Unless the developers do it. So maybe I shouldn't grade the PS5 Pro on that. Maybe can't even do that.
As you can see,
I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments about that. Everything else seems good. When they're talking about like it's 45% stronger or 60% bigger, I need something like in layman terms, because like what does that mean? I don't even know. This is like my computer is a 3090 Ti, and I think I have a 7th gen core processor, right? I don't really know anything more than that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know I asked for what's the good stuff, and I get it. But I don't even think 7th gen is good anymore, or 5th gen, one of the two I have. But this says 8th core Gen 2 CPU. Like I don't know what that translates to in terms of like, I don't know what is a good comparison when it comes to like a computer hardware for that. It all looks good though. You know what I mean? I'm sure this was more so for people who are like super hardcore into like the technical aspects of things. But everything looks better, which is what I assumed was going to happen. So, like I said, I'm probably going to get it, right? Is there no pre-order? Like, what's going on? I don't know. It's probably there now. But anyways, guys, that was it. That was PS5 Pro presentation. Let me know what you guys think. I'm out.